So this means that you're not just going to always be the one who comes up with the right answer, but you're going to come up with the right question. Because the right question opens up dialogue, opens up conversation, opens up learning, and opens up people to be in community. Now I ask you a series of questions at the beginning, if you recall those questions. I wanted you to take a few minutes to talk with two others, not more than two, and you're really good at math because I was in your math class this morning. Just two people that you're going to talk to about the answer to those questions. Do you remember the question? Think back to the very first time you experienced leadership, to the very first time you really thought you were a leader. What happened? What did you do? And then most importantly, what did you learn? I'm going to give you only 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You're a very verbal group, and you've been sitting very nicely and politely, so you can now be loud and talk. I'm going to tell you when you have 1 minute left to finish your conversation, and then when I talk to you again, I'd like for you to come back to the full attention. Now, this is always risky for a leader to do, isn't it? But I trust you. So you have 5 minutes to share with each other the answer to the questions that I've given you. I think this is a minute. Oh, you all are really amazing. I'm so impressed, really. I can't wait to go out and tell everybody how wonderful you all are. I would like to hear from you now, and I really do want to hear what lessons did you learn from your first experiences of leadership. You don't have to tell the whole story, by the way, of how you came into being leaders, your first experience, but I do want to hear about some of the things you did and what did you learn, so that we have a collective kind of sharing of lessons learned here this morning. So just whoever wants to speak up. You have to be loud, though, because you don't have the mic. So what are some of the lessons you heard? They may not have been yours, but what are some of the lessons you heard or learned?
I heard an interesting thing, and I won't identify the student I was talking to, but you know, I would have guessed that most people in here were talking about a volunteer experience or maybe a work-related experience, part-time job, whatever. I thought one student was talking about having been a peacemaker in his family. Between a cousin and some grandparents, and I thought that was huge to think about it at times when you've been a leader in your own personal family. You wouldn't often think of it.
That is an excellent example. That is an excellent example, because you know, leadership doesn't just stop at the door. You know, it's in your family, it's in your community, it's in your work. It's always at play. So that's a great example. Any other lessons? I'm sure there must be other ones out there that we can benefit. Yes, I think.
In 4th grade, I taught a first grader how to read over a period of 3 weeks, and I felt really happy about it because I love to read. It's one of my favorite things to do, and to be able to give that experience to somebody else just made me feel really happy.
Thank you. What is your name?
Josh.
Josh, that is a perfect example. Oh, wait. Because reading opens up an entirely new world for us when you're able to read, and you gave that person a gift that they'll have for the rest of their lives. You should feel really good about yourself. It's a great example of leadership. One of the things about being a trust holder, when I talked about holding someone in trust, you held that person in trust, and you helped them to see that they had the capacity to learn to read. And that gift that you gave them will be given to other people, because that's what leadership does. It gives the gift to others, and they give the gift to others, and it keeps growing. So thank you for that sharing. And any others that you want to share, any other lessons? Or did I cover the waterfront here? Did I tell you all the lessons that you ever needed to know? Well, I'm sure there's some that you're not sharing. Some of you are... Yes. Where? Oh, yes, please. And what's your name so I know it? Riley.
You kind of have to go with the flow, and for me that's kind of hard sometimes.
You have to go with the flow. And you know, I'm kind of probably like you, Riley. I always had, plans, and I was always organized, and you do this there, and it just doesn't always work. You have to just sort of be real and in the moment, don't you, to be really effective. Great, yes. And your name is? Dana. Okay. You have to, you said sacrifice your time. I'm not sure what you mean by sacrificing your time. Say,
Like, spend your time to like make it better.
okay, great. You really do have to prepare, don't you? You have to spend time. It's a discipline. It really is a discipline. It's hard work. The people that you see make it look really easy, but they have worked really hard to have that level of confidence and competence to do what they do.